Suleiman is having his traditional peanut butter and oatmeal, which I showed in my last what my toddler eats in a day. He basically has this for breakfast almost every single day. He eats himself more now, which is why there's 2 spoons. He likes to alternate. I've also switched him over to a 360 cup to kind of get him into practice of drinking from a cup. And it's just the standard munchkin one. As you can see, he's trying to drink. We're trying to get him into the concept of tilting the cup to drink from it. So yeah, he's gonna finish this up, and then after that, we'll probably have a snack later on. So he had roughly 3/4 of a cup of oatmeal. We also did put a serving of probiotics, which I'll show you now. This is the probiotic that I add to my son's oatmeal every morning. I really like it because it's shelf stable, so I don't have to worry about putting it in the refrigerator. So it's something to look into. It has a lot of benefits, which I can link below for this regarding the studies about that. Highly recommend adding something like this to your baby's diet. So he saw that I'm having a beef patty, and he'd also like some. Here you go. Yummy. This is not a spicy one, it's just mild. So he might have a couple bites of this as well. Yeah, you want to come sit with mom? Isn't that always the case? You sit down to eat something and they want exactly what you're eating. Which I usually do anyways. I like to share meals. So he ended up eating basically my entire beef patty almost. At least 3/4 of it. So that's part of what I eat in a day then. Hey guys, so Suleiman just woke up from his nap. I'm going to be making him a quick lunch of a veggie egg scramble and a side of garlic bread. He really likes garlic bread, so I know it's going to go well with his eggs, and hopefully he'll be full after this meal. I'm using an alternative to butter. This is a dairy-free alternative for those who have a child with a dairy intolerance or allergy. I like it because it's loaded with omega-3s, and it's a cheaper alternative than the Earth Balance. I read the ingredients and they're very similar, so I recommend this one. I put a couple tablespoons into a bowl. I'm gonna melt it in the microwave with some garlic. I'm using about 2 cloves of garlic. So in terms of weight gain, if your child is not eating very much, I try to make sure that the meals that he does get are calorie rich and that they also have added nutrients. So if they're fortified with omega-3s or calcium or iron, then I try to incorporate those types of things into his diet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this into the microwave for just a couple seconds, just enough to melt it so I can spread it onto my bread. Then it's out of the microwave and it's melted. I'm going to be adding in some fresh chopped or cut parsley, and I'm just gonna kind of cut it into little strips. Into pan, I have my oven already preheated. This is a protein bread, so it's enriched with protein, iron, and folate, which is another reason I'm using this. He's only gonna probably eat 1 piece of this, and I'll have the other because typically when I make lunch for him, I make lunch for myself. And I think that's important too. Feeding your baby is not just about feeding your baby. I've learned that feeding little ones is a social activity and they try to mimic you. So when they see you eating a certain food, they're more likely to cooperate and eat it as well. It's a little bit of cheese. This is the vegan cheese, so it's of course dairy-free for him again. I'm just gonna pop this into the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes, just enough to toast it. So I'm just starting him off with a couple pieces because it's still pretty hot, but I'm gonna go ahead and let him chow down. Eat the eggs first. Mmm, yummy. You wanna try? It's hot. Here you go. Yummy, delicious. So garlic bread is usually a pretty big hit with babies and toddlers. I would highly recommend it, especially if you fortify it the way that I did with the bread and also with the butter alternative. Yeah, you're such a good eater. Good job. You can eat just like mama eats. Look. And I'm eating my little plate off to the side over here. Yeah, it's warm, huh? What is that? It's garlic bread. You like garlic bread? So he's just about finished his food. As you can see, the egg scramble is completely finished. He went through that quite fast. He's got a little piece of garlic bread here and one more on my plate here that he can kind of munch on. His face is obviously covered in the evidence of him eating. He's about halfway through his water as well. He's still struggling with this cup a bit because he doesn't understand the concept of tilting it back all the way to get the water out. But I'm just kind of encouraging him to use it as much as possible. He's doing a good job today. Are you all done? Yeah, bah. He says bah when he's done eating, so that's kind of what I taught him to do for now. Come, Suleiman, come. Hi. I'm from the park and I'm currently making dinner, but in that meantime, I'm gonna give him a quick little, I guess, second lunch type thing. It's more of a snack. I'm gonna add some butter to some potatoes that I already boiled. I'm also gonna add his soy milk, just a splash of that so it's creamy. And then I'm going to mash it up. And I'm careful when I'm mashing it just so then it doesn't become glue, like a glue. Some of that pesto that I showed in my grocery haul. So now I have mashed potatoes here. I spread them out just so then they can cool fast, and I put some pesto on it because I know he likes pesto. Here, try. Try it. Remember like the gnocchi we had? I don't know if you can see this on camera, but he got a little bump there at the park. He'll probably eat a little bit of this. I don't know if he'll finish it, but it's just something to kind of hold him over until dinner, which I'm making today something called molokhia and jej with chicken and jute plant. I have a video of that on my Instagram, which I will link here, and you can check it out if you're interested in making something similar. So he's just gonna chow on this and I'll show you how much he gets done. And now he's finished most of it. He didn't finish all of it, which I don't expect because he's gonna have dinner. So that's what's left. And that's what's on his hands and on his face. So this is dinner. We have some chicken thigh, some molokhia, which is jute plant, and some short grain or medium grain rice. And I made everything with my homemade chicken broth, so it's got lots of veggies in that broth. So this is what's left of his molokhia and rose. He finished most of it. I'm proud of him. We're gonna end the night probably with a bottle and then bed. So he's gonna have his last bottle of the day. Just making a quick lunch for today, man, and I thought I'd show you guys. This is some chicken broth. I'm just gonna pour it into a small pot over here. About 2 cups or so of chicken broth. And then I also put in here some chicken noodle macaroni. So it's gonna be something called hal usba. It's an Arabic dish, Palestinian to be exact. It's really good. It has a poached egg in it. I'm gonna make that well done. It has bread in it. It has kind of like a chicken noodly base and onions as well. So I'm gonna also saute some onions and add that into here. The onion. Add in the egg. It smells so good. And then I'm gonna add in some almost, it's not quite stale, but it's meant to be a little more on the stale side. But I'm gonna add in some pita. It's almost done. I'm just gonna let that egg cook for another minute or two. Wanna feed himself? You wanna feed yourself? Go ahead. You can see from the color of the broth, it's really good. See? Because it has carrots and tomatoes, all that good stuff. Yeah, good job. Yeah, you can do it yourself. Good job. You're such a good eater, Suleiman. I'm very proud of you. How did you guys hear him say this? Suleiman, are you done? Bah? All done? Staring at the plate. He basically devoured it. That's what's left in his dish. He basically had an egg and about a serving of the hal usba. Well, this is a lunch idea. I'm actually serving my son leftovers from yesterday's dinner, which is gnocchi. Gnocchi is so easy to make. It takes less than 2 minutes to boil. And then I just made it with a bit of marinara sauce and some mushrooms. And he loves eating gnocchi. It's one of his favorites. I have him shirtless for this because I know he's gonna kind of go wild. And it's super soft, so I'm not really worried about any issues with it. Bah! All done. That's what he says when he's done eating. So this is... So I made some dim sum for us. And then what I did here was I cut up some for him. And then I also added an egg. So sometimes if I feel like he might not like a certain dish, I will pair it with something that I think he will enjoy, which he does enjoy eggs. He went straight for the eggs, just like I thought he would. He loves eggs. He was hesitant with the dim sum, but I just kind of left him alone. I acted like I didn't care, and here he is, just eating it now. He shakes off the excess, but he's basically almost finished all of it, guys. Look. See? So tip, if your kid seems like they're not willing to eat something, just ignore them and keep eating it yourself. What I've come to learn is that food is a social experience. So when he sees me enjoying something and eating it, he's more willing to try it, even if he doesn't like it or thinks that he doesn't like it. So he's running around now, but this is what's left. There's just some scraps here. You can see his high chair. Underneath. Oh, he hit a couple pieces there. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay. What I tend to do, again, like I said, for dinner is I try to keep it kind of nonchalant, and I offer him something I know he likes with something maybe that he hasn't had before or that he's less fond of. And I don't really give him too much attention for it. I don't act like I'm excited if he eats it. I just kind of let him go and do his thing, and that's what happens.